Hello and welcome to PlayStation Racer. My name is Mitchell Morgan and today we had the release of 1.44 of Gran Turismo, and in that 3 new World Circuit races. This video is going to be the first of those races. We're going to be heading over to Europe and to France and also to Le Mans for the World Touring Car 900. Before we do that, I'm just going to double check and make sure that I am on the hard race difficulty, which we are, so we are all good. We can come out of there and then head across to the World Touring Car 900. Now, it's interesting that the main rival cars are the McLaren F1, which is a legend car, I believe, and the NSX Concept, which is a great car, the NSX GT 500, which again is another great car, and the GT1, which was released in the 1.44 release, but I believe that that is only available as a legend car. Now, I do have it, and it's a great car, and I'd have loved to have used that for this particular race, but I'm not, because that is a £2.5 million car currently, and if you're watching this video a week or two after I recorded it, there's a fair chance that you might not even be able to buy that car. So I've gone for the McLaren VGT, which is 1 million credits. It's a car that we've used numerous times for the World Circuit races, so you may well have it already. The setup is racing medium tyres. The suspension, the differential is all standard. I've got the ECU output to 97, the ballast to 200 and the power restrictor to 97. That's all to bring the PP just underneath that magic 900. Otherwise the car is pretty much stock. So just make those changes to get yourself to just underneath the 900 to qualify, and then you will be good to go. So this is the World Touring Car 900. The Le Mans racing circuit, 10 laps. Let's get into the race and see how easy this one is to complete. So I'm starting off, I'm going to put the fuel map to power level 4. Hopefully that is going to give us enough fuel to get to around about halfway through the race. Just being a little bit careful through these first couple of corners, just trying to get past the number 19 car, the driver is Pinel. The car's just falling a little bit, not great for me at the moment, so I'm trying to get through these without getting any bangs and crashes, see if we can get a clean race bonus in this particular race. As we get to the straight, I'll take you through the other settings I've got set up. So we've got the traction control is set to 1, I'm going to use that throughout. The brake balance I'm going to shift across to 5, just to balance out the wear on the tyres, because the rear tyres do wear quite a lot. And then, as I said, we're going to be running power level 4 for this one throughout the race. Just slowing it down to run through. The chicanes are gone a little bit wide there on the exit. I'm hoping that doesn't give me a penalty. We'll find out in just a moment. I got onto the back of the 18th place car and it just lost a little bit of downforce and just slid a little bit wide. You'll notice as well that there is a DRS button that is blinking red at the moment. That is when I am using it. It's not available to us when it is grey, as it is on the screen now. When it is available to us, it will light up in white, which it should do in just a moment. There we go, it's white, and then when I'm pressing it, it goes red. So you'll be able to see where I am using the DRS in this particular race. So just overtaken 2 more cars, including that Toyota GT1 car, to get us up into 15th. Getting it slowed down for this corner. One of the other things that I try to do throughout this race is use gear number 3, third gear on the exit of corners. So very often I'll use maybe 2nd or 3rd into a corner and then a slightly higher gear on the exit of the corner, and that is to try and limit the wheel spin as you are exiting the corners, to prolong the life of these racing medium tyres. Of course, if you want to, you could run this with the hard tyres, and then you'll be able to run with a little bit more power on the car, or maybe a little less brake balance. But I happen to like, I got a bit too deep there, I happen to like the racing medium tyres. I'm missing a lot of my braking points while I'm trying to narrate and drive this one. So this isn't the tidiest of races, but it will do for this one if I can get to the end of this race in first place. So I'm just going to bring this one around to finish this lap, and then I'll try and talk you through a lap. Again, I'm just using fuel map 4 to manage the fuel at the moment. I'm not having to do too much lifting and coasting, just got the inside of the red one there. Three more cars in front of us as we come around the corner. I've got to be a little bit careful. We go left or right. I'm going to go left, and then I'm going to brake halfway down the pit lane here, see if we can get that done, or just a slight bang on the Supra on the way through there. So exiting the curb, the little chicane there, jumping over the curb. I should have been up into third. I wasn't in second. We're coming up through the gears now. I'm going to stay over to the left, and then we'll sweep across to the right hand side, and I'm looking for the first of the Toyota banners on the right hand side there, down into third gear, just leave it in third through that elongated chicane, and then we're chasing down on the 10th place car, Fragger in front, braking at the end of those little cones on the right hand side. Fourth gear through here enables us to close up on Fragger, but I've gone a little bit deep and had to back out of that as we're trying to negotiate this car. I've got my line slightly wrong through there. Don't go too wide, because if you go across that left hand curb you will pick up a track penalty, a track limit penalty. So I don't really want to be doing that if I can help it. So on the straight now, pushing the DRS. Where are we? We're 3 and a bit seconds away from the number 9 car in front. And it's not actually the number 9 car, but the 9th place car. Sweeping in here, I'm just trying to stay in these white lines so I don't pick up any track limits. I've struggled a little bit with this race to stop getting track limits, in particular at this next chicane coming up. So I'm experimenting a little bit on the positioning of the car. So I'm going to go left of this one. I then get across to the right hand side, looking for the 200-meter board, and then we'll sweep across. I'm going to keep within the white lines through here, just making sure that we straddle them, but we are keeping at least 2 tyres on the racetrack, and hopefully that will be good and we won't pick up a penalty. So just running down into this last really tight right hander. I'm looking for the 100-meter board, heavy on the brakes, down into third gear, then into second for rotation, up into third as we hit the apex, so that we can get on the power as quickly as possible, and then also on the DRS as quickly as possible to get the full benefit of it down this little mini straight, where we will be chasing Pounder for 8th position. Now as we go into this corner, I'm looking for the 100-meter board, or also where there's a shiny bit of tarmac, almost where the green bit is on the left hand side there, and then getting it slowed down all the way to this corner, so pretty much on the brakes. Third through that one, up to 5th, down to 3rd. Actually I left it in 4th on that one, but sometimes I got to 5th, but 3rd, down to 2nd for a bit of rotation, up into 3rd as you exit on that corner, and then on the DRS again, chasing down the 2 NSXs. Sorry for getting that corner a little bit mixed up, but I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing with these cars and going up the left dash side of those 2. The green bit of Astro on the left hand side there is my braking point. 5th gear all the way through here. Now we're catching up with Sternberg, a difficult place. I'm going to go around the right hand side. 4th gear through here, just using a bit of that curb, and then just as you get to where the curb on the right hand side, or the track on the right hand side sort of starts to go to the right of you, that's when you want to start turning left, so midway through that corner. Go 3rd gear through here. I usually do 2nd for this one, just taking quite a fair bit of the curb, but not too much to unsettle the car, otherwise you will bounce across the curbs a little bit more than you need to and lose a lot of time. Again, staying left for this one. 6th gear through here, be brave, we're looking for the first total board, heavy on the brakes, getting it slowed down. I've gone a little bit deep into there. 3rd gear, that's put me a little bit wide onto that corner. I didn't quite catch 2nd gear fast enough, so that could well be a penalty as we've gone across that bit of the track and onto the runoff. Looks like we might have got away with that though. So this is another one you've got to be careful of. Take a lot of the curb on the way in. I didn't. I've gone really wide on that corner while I was thinking about it. I left my braking way too late, didn't turn in enough. and that is almost definitely going to be a track limit penalty unless I manage to back out of that enough, and it looks like I might have done and got away with it. So the marshals being fairly kind to me at the moment with some of those track limits. I have a feeling that that is not going to continue to be the case. We've just caught up with Drummond through the chicane here. Not the best place to catch him, but we will let him go and then try and catch up with him down this long straight using the DRS again and slipstream. We'll overtake him on the left hand side to get 5th place. Now we can see 4th place ahead of us as well, closing up quite nicely on that car, 2 seconds ahead, looking for the 200-metre board. It's buried in the hedge there, getting it slowed down, and again I'm just trying to keep it within these white lines to make sure that we don't get any track limits. Looking okay for that one, but was good. Getting back onto the power, looking for the DRS, there it is. Just trying to chase down Gallo the moment, and I'm going to brake around about the 100-metre board for this one. Oh, he broke a lot heavier than I thought he was going to do and nearly ran into the back of him, but I managed to get around the back of that car. He broke later, but much heavier than I thought it was going to, so he stopped that car a lot quicker than I could stop mine. So as we go down into this little complex again, I'm looking for the shiny bit of track, the 100-metre board mark, buried a brake pedal, just coming off it with the trail brake, down into 3rd, 2nd for a bit of rotation, back up to 3rd before the apex, and away we go. So braking all the way through that little complex. This one I'm struggling with a braking point there. It's sort of between the 100 and the 50-metre board, although I can't see a 100-metre board, so I'm braking just a little bit before the 50 for that particular one. Stay to the left hand side through here, and then what we're doing is we're looking for the little bit of green astro on the track right there at the beginning of that. Just slow it down a little bit, just trail brake through here in 5th gear, leave it in 5th as we go through here, try not to hit that wall, then down into 4th as we exit that part of the curb and we go into this next complex. Just riding the edge of the curb there, sweep across in 4th, be careful not to jump across the curb on the exit there, otherwise that's another track limit area. But thankfully we're doing okay for those as well. Halfway down the pit entry, down into 3rd gear, we can take loads of the curb through here, down to 2nd, take a lot of the curb through here, up into 3rd. I'm just leaving it in 2nd for the moment. I should have gone up into 3rd there, talking and not doing, and then come up through the gears as quickly as possible. We've got the right hand side of that car, looking for the braking point. He's coming back at me. Oh, just a little bit of a nudge through there. I felt that upset me just a little bit. I'm not sure if I cut his nose off, but all's fair with racing against the AI cars. Probably wouldn't get away with that if you were running against a real world car, but against the AI we got away with that, and good job too, because he's quite a fair bit behind us. A nice purple sector flashing up on the screen there. As we come down the straight, we're going to open up that DRS as soon as it is available to us and take stock of where we are. So we're in 3rd place. We are 14 seconds behind the leader, 12 seconds behind the car in front. The rear tyres are looking pretty well worn, although the fronts are fine, so we're okay for heavy braking into these corners. I broke a little bit early for that one while I was looking at the tyre situation. And we picked up a track limit. I'm sure I didn't go over the white lines there. I was sure that I was keeping within the white lines. Maybe I just put a tyre just ever so slightly over one of the white lines into that corner. That's a pain, because a half-second penalty manifests into at least 1, maybe 1.5 seconds in this particular race as you go down the straight and take the penalty. So I'm just going to make sure I stay within the white lines through here and make sure we don't pick up any more penalties. That was good. We didn't catch any of the curbs there, so we should be fine. The penalty is still sitting at ½ second, so we are all good. So lap 4 out of 10. The tyres are starting to look a little bit warm. We've got a penalty to serve. We're sitting in 3rd place. I'm not quite sure what strategy the other cars around us are going to do. The sky is blue, so it looks like we're fine on the weather at the moment, and I'm just trying to use the DRS as much as possible. We've used all of our battery at this point, so we've got no battery benefit, but we are still sitting on fuel map 4 with 1.7 laps of fuel to go, and I wanted to get to the end of lap number 5. We're on lap number 4 at the moment, so we should be good. We're going to have to serve our penalty in a moment, so let's just keep it smooth through here. Third gear on the exit. Could just leave it in third gear now to serve that penalty. Just fourth as a penalty was served, just to get up through the gears. Fifth now. You can see that the car behind is catching very, very quickly as we've now served that penalty. The gap now down to just under 7 seconds. Still catching me as I am struggling to just get this car settled down after serving the penalty. Down to 6 seconds for the car behind now. Got to watch the track so I don't cause myself a problem. Let's stop looking at times and things. Looking to brake halfway down this pit entry, hard on the brakes. Fourth through there, and I just dropped down to third. I thought I might try fourth, but didn't really have the confidence, so changed to third. Normally I go third and then second through that little chicane. That keeps the car nice and balanced, but I was just trying fourth to carry a little bit of extra speed through there. Didn't really work for me. Down into second to this one for a bit of rotation, straight up into third so we can carry a bit of speed through the chicane. You can see the second and the first place cars in front of us now, braking at the end of the cones there. Fourth gear through here, you can carry a nice lot of speed through those little corners, catching up with the car in front. Be careful not to go too wide on the exit here, plus I've got to think about the overtaking. Go to the left of that one. Oh, a slight bump on the way through there. I think the clean race bonus has clearly gone on this one anyway with the penalties that we've just had. Slipstreaming Brea now with the ADA DRS, a very, very quick and easy pass, and you can see that we are approaching a second ahead. Braking nice and early for this corner, making sure that we don't cross those white lines, staying well away from the curbs. I'm still not sure. Looking at some of the cars that I'm following, they have been using the curbs a little bit more, so I can't quite understand why I'm getting track limit penalties and they're not. So this has got me thinking a little bit at the moment about my track positioning. Am I coming across too far over to the right hand side into this corner? I'm actually right over on the all four wheels to the side, and I was definitely within there, so another half-second penalty. I'm wondering whether I've got these chicanes all wrong at this point, something that I will monitor. I'm thinking that I was a bit too far over to the right on the way in. I was on the right hand side of the dotted line going into that last chicane. I'm thinking that maybe I need to keep the car to the left of that dotted line, but then I might be able to straighten the chicanes a bit more and use the curbs. So I'm just thinking out loud whilst we are running at the moment, and I've got that big red penalty sitting on the screen reminding me, and I don't want to keep picking up these penalties, so braking at the beginning of the little green bit of Astro there, just third gear through here. And I'm struggling to find a 100-meter board marker on that, so just before the 50. Just second gear to slow it down, third gear as we hit the apex there so we can get the power down. Just leaving it in third for the penalty to be taken, and then coming up through the gears. So taking stock of where we are at the moment. Tyres looking a little bit iffy on the back, so we need to look after those a little bit more. Let's just get through here. Fifth gear through here, careful of the wall on the right hand side, just sixth briefly down into fourth for this one. Going to sweep across the road as that track opens up for us. Didn't get a track limit I think from going across there, I think we're okay. We're in first position by 8 seconds. We'll dive into the pits, brake in, oh broke a bit too late, going to catch the wall. I always tend to, there's a point on the pit entry there where the line, like the line changes shape, and that's what I was using for my braking point, but it's not quite early enough. I need to brake a tad earlier and harder going into there. So we're going to go with another set of medium tyres. We've dropped down to second, now third place, whilst we wait for the car to come in for its stop. And then I'm just going to completely fuel this car to the brim, just to give me enough fuel to be safe to the end of the race. It's a new set of mediums gone on. The fuel is going in as we drop now to 5th place. Gallo in 6th is in the pits. So hopefully we might be able to maintain 5th position. Drummond in 8th is in as well. We got the fastest lap with a 3:34, is that? Let me just get through here and we'll have a little look. But we have come out, I think, in 5th place. Yes, we have. 5th place. Yeah, 3:34 fastest lap, which is okay. And I'm just being a little bit careful with the tyres. At the moment they're out of the blankets, but they do cool down a little bit while they're being fitted. And we're exiting the pit lane, so just being a little bit careful. I've gone a bit wide through there, just trying to keep a tyre on the yellow part of the curb there to make sure that we don't get a penalty. We've already had at least one penalty in this race, and I really do not want to be having too many more at this stage. So running quite nicely at the moment. 200 metre ball, we're going to bang on the brakes, getting it slowed down through here. Just got a little bit wide on the exit there, pushing on as quickly as we can. We're just down this straight, using the DRS. We can see the 4th place car in front. Looks like we're catching that car fairly quickly. Just slowing it down a 3rd through here. Just taking a little bit more of the curbs this time, just experimenting. Just seeing if we do get a penalty this time. It looks like we might have been okay. So maybe we've learned our lesson with regards to the track limits. Maybe that has solved the problem. If we stay within the dotted lines on the right hand side, we can then straighten the chicanes a little bit more, and that is going to find us a lot more time through those corners. Hopefully that is going to be job done on that, and that we will have solved our problem. It's taken us way too long to solve that problem about the track limits. But if we have, then that will be a really good lesson learned. We're on lap 6 at the moment. We are 14 seconds behind Ura in front of us in 3rd, and we are 22 seconds off of Brea out in front. I'm going to assume those guys have got to pit. Hopefully they will, and we'll be able to close up significantly, if not get 1st place. Otherwise I'm not too worried at the moment, because we are lapping fairly quickly against those guys at the moment. You can see that we're down to just over 21 seconds to the leader at the moment. We've got a fair old way to go, so we're just going to continue to push this, and just to see if we can bring this one home in 1st place. We've actually got Brea and Kawakami pitting at the moment. Brea on mediums and Kawakami on hard tyres. So that's the 1st and the 2nd cars in the pits. Ura has carried on, which means we should come out of this and net 2nd place following those pit stops. And I'm thinking now that the 1st place runner is probably going to need to pit as well. And if that is the case, then we should be able to bring this one home quite comfortably in 1st place. I'm going to continue to push on at the moment, just in case Ura is not going to pit, because we've still got 11 seconds to make up, which is quite a fair bit of time, although we have got 3 full laps to do that. So I'm just going to try and keep it nice and smooth at the moment. Let's just sweep across the track and take a bit more of that curb. being careful not to run out too wide. And as we come down the straight, we're going to just be thinking about our car positioning into the chicanes this time, and then try and use a bit more of the curbs on the way through to try and just find a little bit more time through the chicanes. And hopefully then we can apply that when we're racing online with real people and maybe close up a little bit more. So you can see me, I'm just using that curb to apex that one. I've gone a bit deep on the exit. I'm hoping that that isn't going to be a track limit, but we did catch the 3 apexes, I think, the 3 curbs through there. Looks like we haven't got a penalty, which is good. So I'm going to stay to the left of the dotted line as we go down into this chicane. I'm going to brake on the 200 metre board. I'm going to watch for the curb there. I'm going to watch for the inside of this one as well. So just touching that one. I'm going to touch this one on the way through. So I think we could go through there quicker. We have got a purple sector, which is good. And it looks like we have got away without a penalty. So I think that we have definitely learned that lesson. With regards to the times, we just get through this corner. Down at the 3rd gear, 2nd, for a bit of rotation up to 3rd. So with regards to the times, jumping on the DRS again, 9 seconds to the car in front. And we've got around about 2.5 laps to make up that time. I think that is doable, but we are going to need to continue to really push on here to see if we can close that gap, if the first place runner is not going to hit. So braking all the way to this corner, off the brakes, 3rd gear. We're going to brake just before the pretty much you can see the 50 metre board there, and you can see the end of the fence where it sort of lightens up. I just noticed that as I was going through there. I'll have to look at that again in a moment. But where the fence lightens up in the 50 metre board, I'm braking about halfway down that little area. Through here I'm looking for this little green bit of Astro on the left hand side. Get that slowed down. 5th through here. Could have been a bit further over to the wall. I was a bit scrappy through there. 4th, let's see if we can get this turned in. Don't go too wide. Oh, just about caught that. So we're okay on track limits, I think, there, but that wasn't overly clean through there. We've got Ura in the pits now. That's good news. So that is going to give us possibly a 20-odd second lead over the 2nd place person, which is probably going to be Kawakami, I think, by the time the pit stop is over. We'll see in a moment. Ura was on the medium tyres, the same as me. I don't know what tyres they're going to stay on. Hopefully medium is good from around here. We don't need to do a mix of compounds. So now that we're out in front, I'm just sort of going to take it a little bit easier. We've just done a fastest lap. I can see just out the corner of my eye we've got the purple there, so let's just get through here. We've got a little bit deep through there. That's going to compromise that corner. Thankfully we didn't go over the curb there, but we did a 3:31.5 for a fastest lap at the moment, which is good and considerably quicker than all of my other laps. And I think a lot of that is just nailing the chicane now, being able to carry more speed through these chicanes by coming into them knowing that I am in the right position on the track, and then picking up the curbs as I would want to. I was getting a bit confused earlier on as to why I couldn't run those curbs. The reason being, you'll notice this dotted line on the right hand side. You need to stay to the left of that dotted line. It seems to be that if you go over it with all of your wheels, then you are going to be picking up a track limit penalty warning. So here I'm getting right over using all of the curbs on the way through here, so much faster through the chicanes, but keeping all 4 of my tyres within that dotted line. Looks like we've now got away with no track limit warnings, no track limit penalties, and we've got a purple sector through there as well into the bargain. So we are definitely carrying a lot more speed through there into that corner. Slowing this one down, 2nd gear up into 3rd for the apex. onto the DRS as quickly as we can. Another purple sector being set, and we're starting to feel a lot more confident, not only about the car, about the tyres, about using the DRS, but also the track positioning, where the track limits are, etc. So I'm going to brake at the beginning of that like shiny green bit, all the way into this corner, just trail braking, a little bit of extra brake as we went into that corner. This one, again, I'm braking halfway between where the fences on the left hand side open up and the 50-metre board. It seems to be quite nice through there. We've still got 2.7 laps of fuel to go. We've got 2 laps after this one, and we're about 3/4 of the way round this lap, so the fuel is looking pretty good at the moment. So 5th gear through here, just catch that curb, drift across to pick up the inside curb there, out to the wall. Could have gone a little bit wider on that one, but not really pushing the track boundaries too much at the moment, because we are out in front. 26 seconds. If the weather was to go absolutely terrible, it could be bad news, because if it goes terrible and we're on the wrong part of the track, then we've got to get around on slick tyres. But at the moment the sky is looking pretty blue. There's 1 or 2 dark clouds up there which look a bit ominous, but still plenty of blue sky, and the sunshine is out, so hopefully we're going to be okay on weather. I'm not even looking at the weather gauge at the moment. Just feeling very comfortable. Oh, a little bit deep into that corner, I was just going to say, and a bit too wide on that one. I was just about to say that I was feeling quite comfortable with the car right now. Alas, the car has just reminded me that we are in a race. We do need to keep our concentration up and look for our braking points and turning points and acceleration points to bring this one home. So we're out in front at the moment. The last lap was a 3:32.3 despite a number of purple sectors. We are coming up for 29 seconds ahead of the car behind, so we are pretty much a pit stop ahead of them. But again, if the rain does come at Le Mans, a lot of it depends on where you are on track. But I'm looking at the sky, and the sky looks blue. It looks absolutely beautiful. No real menacing clouds that are threatening rain at the moment, so I'm not even going to bother looking at the rain radar. We're just going to continue to keep pushing. I'm happy with the fuel map 4 for this one. It got us deep into the race as we wanted. Again, I'm just watching my positioning into this corner, picking up the apex of these corners without worrying too much. And hopefully we're going to get through there. A little bit slower, but hopefully we got through there without a track limit penalty, which we appear to have done. So we'll run straight the way down to this corner at the bottom. Hard on the brakes at the 100-metre board. Second for a little bit of rotation, up into third as we go through the corner, and then on the power with the DRS to try and just build the gap to the car behind. Where are we? 31, 32 seconds ahead at the moment. Not pushing too much, but just taking care of the car, just thinking about the braking points, the turning points, accelerating points, and just taking it a little bit more easy at the moment. There's no point in really going for it and doing anything really silly. At this point, I'm just trying to bring this home as smoothly as possible. "31, 32 seconds to the car behind at the moment. The tyres, they're looking okay. They're looking alright. We've got one more lap to do on these at the end of this one. So I think they're going to be pretty badly worn at the end of this race, but for the moment, they're looking okay. Just using 6th and then 5th, 4th through here. So 6th just to carry a little bit more speed through there. We are catching up with a back marker. Quite a few back markers that we're catching up on at the moment. Whoa, catching that Salik really quickly. Did he brake check me through there? I wasn't expecting him to brake at that point. Almost caught me out and almost put me off the track there. be a little bit careful through these back markers. We really don't want to throw it off the track at this point, although with what we got, a 33-second lead as we go into the final lap, we could probably get a spin and get back on track and hold the place, but we don't want to do that, so I'm just going to be a little bit careful through this traffic. So we've lapped one car, we've dropped our lap times even further at the moment. I'll cover those as we get to the long straight. For the minute I just want to overtake that car cleanly, which we did, getting it slowed down for this one. Oh, gone a bit wide again. Hopefully that isn't going to be a track penalty, but really wide on the exit of that corner. As we go down the straight, we can have a little look with 35.5 seconds ahead of the car behind. Tyres not looking too bad, and you can see there that we were a 331, we're then a 332, now a 333, so you can see how much I'm backing off now, just to make sure that we don't get too many penalties and that we don't throw the car off the track as the tyres are wearing. ABS working overtime through that corner. Back on the power, using the DRS. Absolutely no reason why not to use the DRS down these straights. It will give you a little bit more power and enable you to close up. You can see how much we're closing up on the cars in front. Unfortunately, we're going to reach those at the braking point. They're hard on the brakes, I'm hard on the brakes. Can we go around the outside of that one? Yes, we can, just about. Then get on the back of Pinel in front, go to the right of that one. So now it's a few more cars that are lapped. As we come down towards this very, very tight right-hander for the very last time, 100-metre board, bang on the brakes, down into second gear, up into third for the apex, on the power as quick as we can. Exit the corner, back on the DRS. Could have gone onto the DRS a little bit earlier. I was just looking at the tyres for a moment there while I had the opportunity. Just minded of the left-hand rear, which is looking pretty worn at the moment. There's a bit of grip left, so I think we're going to be okay, but I'll just be a little bit careful through here. So braking a little bit earlier through here as well. Third gear, you can see another yellow car up ahead. The blue lights and flags waving. Again, the blue light flashing in front of us, that is for the car in front. We don't need to worry about those. We just need to worry about either staying behind this car and bringing it home, or making a clean move. We don't really want to put it into these large gravel traps up ahead. Again, just catching that car at a really bad time, so I'm going to slow down and just follow behind. A little gap opens up, we go up the outside of that car. So we're now free to run our normal lines through here. Again, picking up fourth gear, a little bit wide on the exit of that corner as the car is sliding. So just be a little bit careful through here. We've then simply got these last two chicanes to run through. So again, I'm going to be looking at braking just a little bit earlier down the pit entry. Fourth through there, down into second, over the curbs, and then we'll bring that one across the line to complete this World Touring Car 900 race at Le Mans in France. One of the new races to be released in the Gran Turismo 1.44 update today. But that's how I did that one in the McLaren VGT. Finished that nearly 40 seconds ahead of Ura in second. 53, nearly 54 seconds ahead of the third place runner as well. We didn't get a clean race bonus, unfortunately, a little bit messy and too many track limit penalties through there. But I think that it would be very, very easy to do this race with this car, with this setup, with that strategy, with that tyre choice, and get through the traffic without banging anybody, and obviously with the track limits. Now that we know where we were going wrong with the track limits through the chicanes, I was using all of the track and getting over on the little dotted line on the right hand side, in particular into the second chicane. That will invoke the track limit penalty. So long as you don't do that, you can grab the curbs on the way through as you would normally and straight line those chicanes as much as possible, and then you're all good. I pointed out the other areas where you need to be careful of track limits around here. And of course you can always pause and rewind the video to see exactly where I'm braking, where I'm turning in and the gears, etc. But we did talk a lot about that through this particular race. So thank you ever so much for watching. If you like this video and you found it useful, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new around here, please hit the subscribe button because it will really help me out on my end as I try to get towards 2,000 subscribers. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on another video coming very soon. For now, take care. Bye bye.